the campaign for Achromatic Chronicles Green is over. And despite what you might be told, it was a huge fucking failure. Okay. So in 75 days, they raised $119,000 with only 3,200 books sold.
What are you talking about failure? 239% of goal.
It sounds great. It sounds fantastic, right? It sounds fantastic.
Compared to the
any other
previous
campaign, any other campaign, this would be great. If Jay did this on his own, if this wasn't Rippasend, it would be fucking fantastic, right? But this is his last book. It had 1,436 backers, and they made $107,000 on his own in a 30-day campaign.
Do you know what percentage they give up to Rippasend? Or is it not known?
It's not known.
I bet they're shafting them, though, aren't they?
Even let's say that we'll be like fucking very nice about it. And we'll say that Rippasend is equal to Critical Blast, right? Like they're equivalent. Okay. That means he only made $20,000 more between the two campaigns. This is despite the fact that the first campaign only had the book. The first campaign only had Blue. That was it. You had Blue, and then I think there was like 3 bundles. It was like a buy 3 copies of Blue, buy like 10 copies of Blue, and like maybe like a buy 20 copies of Blue or something like that, right? And then just a single issue. Whereas the Rippasend version had fucking Blue. It had 3 different covers for Blue. It had 3 versions of Blue fucking CGC graded. It had Green, the 3 covers for Green, the 3 CGC graded. It had T-shirts. I think it was like 2 T-shirts, 2 different squeeze balls. Had something else, like a poster, 1 or 2 posters, a coloring book, and then like 6 or 7 different bundles. So it was like, oh, you can get all covers for Blue, or all covers for Green, or like all 6 covers, or all covers plus CGC, or like everything plus T-shirts. Like there was so many different options for fucking the Green campaign. Like if you broke it down, it was like first one like 4 options, second campaign like 30 options, right? Like that's the difference between what was being offered, and to only have not even 20,000, it was 12,000, a $12,000 difference between the two. That's fucking terrible. Wasn't Eric going to drop a boatload of cash on Jay? Yeah, he was. He was saying, I would drop a boatload of cash. So you got to remember, this number here, 119,000, sounds fantastic, right? But the difference is in the first campaign, the only overhead was the books, right? The difference between what the books cost versus what they were being sold for. This one, you have to factor in like the T-shirts had a cost, and then what they sold for. The balls had a cost, what they sold for. The posters, the CGC grading, all that stuff, right? So there's a lot more numbers to go over to like sort of get an accurate reading of what made more. He might have made more, but it isn't. I don't think it's a significant amount where it's like seems worth it. Especially you had Air July pushing you, right? Same thing with the books. You got 3,200 books sold, not customers, books sold, right? Originally, you had 1,436 backers. So even if each backer only bought 1 book, which we know is not true because the numbers don't add up to get 100,000, right?
Yeah.
So if you say 1,400 people should have came back for the second campaign, plus new people, right? This ain't it. This ain't it, Chief. Jay, what happened, man? And I know everyone will say I'm a hater. I don't understand campaigns. I don't understand numbers. This is a fantastic, huge drop-off. And again, like I said, first campaign, 30 days. Second campaign, 75 days. Twice as long. 2.5 times as long of a campaign to only get $12,000 more money raised. I don't know if you would say that's a success. I wouldn't say it's a success. Hater Headquarters for 5 says, allegedly, But Rippasend is completely free if you blow all the men in Eric's warehouse. It's possible Yellow Flash got an even better backdoor deal. Oh, man. I've heard something similar. Fan art says nearly 2,000 more books sold and only 10% more. No. So the second one says books sold. So the Rippasend was going by books sold, not backers. The first one was going by backers. So those backers, some of them could have bought multiple copies because they had the buy one, give one to like a homeless kid or some shit, right? Buy 10 copies for charity. And this one, again, says books sold. So like if I went there and I bought a coloring book, that's one book sold. If I bought a CDC, if I bought all 3 covers for blue, that's 3 books sold. If I bought all 3 covers for green, that's 3 books sold. If I buy all 6, that's 6 books sold, one customer, right? That's why they didn't show how many customers, because they knew. Like they could fudge the numbers. Like if I wanted all bundle, there's like 6, 9, there's like 12 different books in the I wanted all bundle. So they can say, hey, I just sold 12 books, right? That's called fluffing the numbers, Sturgis. If you want to know about fluffing, there you go. So yeah, I don't think that's a huge success. Would you call this, anyone here call this a huge success?
I mean, not compared to his previous one. His previous one was obviously going to give him more money compared to this one because he's fucking giving a lot of it away needlessly, what it looks like. He would have he would have probably sold the same through just funding it in Indiegogo, right?
Yeah.
Or Critical Blast for that matter. Yeah.
Well, Critical Blast is the fulfillment. Indiegogo would have been the platform. So yeah, I mean, unless Rippasend is not having any platform fees, right? So like I said, it's going to be like 5%. So he made a little bit more. But again, it's not the significant amount of money that he should have made. Because again, you got Eric July pushing your book. Why is your book? Eric July is making $1 million campaigns. And he's like, I'm going to dump a truckload of money at your feet. And he's like, oh, just barely the same what I made. Like the only money that Jay made extra is the less fees, right? I've made less fees. That's it. Like you didn't bring me any new customers. You didn't bring me, an extra $100,000, $200,000 worth of customers. Like you saved me fees.
Is that who fulfilled it? Is that who published it from last time, Critical Blast?
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know if it's public about their prices, but we've seen it, and I've heard the numbers floated for Rippasend, and they are wildly different.
Yeah. Well, because here's what I think. Critical Blast, again, is just a publisher, right? So Critical Blast isn't charging you for hosting fees. Where Rippasend is charging you their Indiegogo plus Critical Blast together, right? So he's charging you for the Indiegogo fee and the Critical Blast fee. So Critical Blast is just charging you for one, and then Indiegogo's. So it's like instead of paying 2 people, you're paying just the one person for the 2 services, right?